the aid worker that was raped in the Bentiu camp in South Sudan. And much was said from this podium of what the UN system, including the agency, which turned out to be UNICEF, was doing. And the alleged victim herself has asked, has tweeted at your office and Inner City Press asking what has happened since. And since it's Humanitarian Day, it seems like the right time to ask, are you aware of any steps taken since this was reported in BuzzFeed to get to the bottom of the rape of this aid worker working in the Bentiu camp of the UN?
I'm not aware, but it might just be me, so don't. It might just be because I was working on something else. So
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. AT&T, should I do it now or can I do it later?
Are you gonna ask? Are you gonna
I'm
stop
asking
asking questions if I give you it
There's
now?
a good answer to this one, I promise.
Go.
All right. The question is, on the AT&T, you'd said the UN didn't know and now was going to speak with them. And so, okay. The thing is that in looking into it, there is a UN rule. This is a UN, it's called the General Conditions of Contract, and it says that all UN contractors can disclose information provided that the contractor give the UN sufficient prior notice of the request of the disclosure information to allow the UN to have an opportunity for a protective measure. This implies that for a UN contractor, AT&T, to allow the US to take any information, they would have had to disclose to the UN. So I wanted to know, and you may not know at the podium, but given that this is a UN rule for all contractors, and given that, you said that the UN didn't know, but by the rules, either the UN had to know or AT&T violated the rules, because that's what the rule is. So I wanted to know, can you find out, either from procurement or OLA, whether the UN was notified of AT&T providing all of this electronic communication to the United States?
So on AT&T and this issue, just to tell you that we are in touch with AT&T, and we have made our concerns known to them, and we'll be continuing this discussion with them over the coming months. And also, we will put to bid a number of IT and voice contract also in the coming months. And I just want again reiterate that we expect all member states to respect the inviolability of our communication.
Do you assume that information is continuing to be shared with the United States today, going forward, during the GA week? Is that the UN's understanding?
As I said from here, both yesterday and the day before, we got assurances from the U.S. government that they were not and would not monitor our communication, and that's it. Yes.
That was inconsistent with what was later disclosed.
Matthew,
you got the assurance.
Matthew, it's not just your briefing.
Right.
Okay,
no,
let's just give questions to other people, please. Other people, not just you. Yes, Ali.
Sure. I wanted to ask you on this issue of interns in the UN system being unpaid, therefore that only the most affluent can work. There's a letter. It's a public, but it's also said that it was sent to Ban Ki-moon. Have you gotten the letter, and are you going to meet with these groups, QFRI, and pay your interns?
We printed out this the Washington Post thing for him this morning, so I think he has seen it. Evelyn, you.
Sure. In Burundi, one of the media that was closed by the government, RPA, Radio Publique Africaine, has published its investigation of who killed the general that the Secretary General, denounced the assassination of. And their investigation, which is pretty detailed, seems to say that the tracks lead back to the government itself. So I wanted to know.
I'll just refer you back to his statement at that moment, and his alarm at the trend of politically motivated violence that we're seeing in Burundi.
But is DPA tracking? I guess this report. If true, would be a pretty big thing. It also seems to put the media at risk. So I wanted to know who in the UN system is sort of tracking these events.
Well, we have a presence in Burundi, a UN presence, as you know, and of course DPA is looking at the relevant offices in DPA. Look at the political developments and all over the world, Matthew. Okay.